Authority Midcoastside to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Director Clark,
Present.
Director Penrose,
Here.
Director Slater Carter,
Anytime. Oh, shit, I was about to say, where's Penrose?
Director Roddick,
Yay, no, I'm here. You're walking great.
okay. Director Roddick,
One step at a time. I think he said Director Reddick. Oh, I already said here.
sorry, I didn't hear you. Director Decker,
Here.
Chair Dye,
Here.
okay, good. Have a complete forum.
And who else is here? Can you announce who else is here?
Who else is here? We have Jeremy Umrais, our
Jim and
General
Callie.
Counsel. And then we have me, General Manager.
Alphabetical.
Oh, I'll do it by seniority.
Do you want me to name everybody else who is there?
No,
on
I
Zoom?
guess not. It's just a courtesy. We don't have to do it.
Okay.
Moving on, do we have members of the public who would like to comment on items not on the agenda?
I'm going to make a comment.
Okay, Catherine.
I have been reading on
Director Slater.
Nextdoor about people complaining about the GCSD Parks project and thinking it's going to eliminate all the parking. That is incorrect, and I'll be posting my appeal and other stuff. It's Caltrans eliminating the parking on Highway 1. It is not GCSD eliminating the parking east of Highway 1. And I think we need to support GCSD for what they're doing to actually get a community park. That's something the county's been talking about doing for 100 years. So here we are. Once again, the coast does it ourselves.
Yes.
But that said, Caltrans, in their road improvement, pavement widening project, is going to turn all of the parking between Coronado and Capistrano into 2 bike lanes that you cannot and will not and are not allowed to park in. So it will completely eliminate any close coastal access for Surfers Beach. So celebrate GCSD, and I will be putting out notes with the file numbers and ask people to write letters to the county and coastal. And the city, who did a very good job in supporting the appeal as well. And we're going to get a much improved project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great. Anything else? Any other members of the public would like to speak? All right, let's moving on to the consent agenda, minutes, disbursements, and the revenue and expense report. Anyone want to pull anything off the consent calendar? If not, can we have a motion?
Move that we approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
All right.
2 seconds.
Any further discussion? All right, can we have a roll call, please?
Director Clark,
Aye.
Director Penrose,
Aye.
Director Slater Carter,
Yes.
Director Roddick,
Yes.
Director Decker,
Yes.
Chair Dye.
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to regular business. Item 4A is adopt resolution number 03-2024 for the Sewer Authority Midcoast Contract Collection Services Budget for fiscal year 2024-25. Do we have a staff report?
Yes. So we have the contract collection services budget, wherein we are on a contract with the 3 member agencies. And we had discussed this in our board meeting a couple of months back, wherein the board has authorized the general manager to forward it to the member agencies for their approval. Apparently, this was discussed at all the 3 member agencies meetings, and this has been approved, and they've adopted a resolution. So it's been brought back to the SAM board for adopting. I have a short PowerPoint presentation, and I can quickly go through that before we jump on to the next one. If I may please share my screen.
Okay, and if I can just make a quick comment, GCSE did pass a resolution, but it turned out that is not required by the JPA, and we did vote to approve both
Okay.
budgets.
And could, just for the public who's not in this room, but watching maybe a week or two off, could you explain how the budget has the operations section?
He's going to do a PowerPoint.
Okay, just so that it's clear for the public.
Yep. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a collection contract services budget review. What we do is typically we have a preliminary budget, which we discuss with our member agency managers. And once it's agreed upon, then we bring it to the finance committee. And after discussion of the finance committee, then we bring it to the SAM board for getting the general manager to authorize it to send it out to the member agencies. Thereafter, it's sent to the member agencies and then discussed at their respective board or council meetings, and finally gets adopted when it gets brought back to SAM. So the way it works is all the agencies will have a minimum of 50% of their lines cleaned on an annual basis. This was agreed upon a couple of years back when we did this budget. We ensure that every year we clean at least 50% of their lines, because it's not practical to clean all of the lines for all the 3 member agencies in 1 year. So this was agreed upon that minimum 50% of the lines will be cleaned. The total costs included would be line cleaning. We also do the lift station routine maintenance, the hotspot cleaning, any emergency responses, USA markings. And once the 50% of all systems have been cleaned each year, staff would definitely have some time left. So with that time left, we will again coordinate with the member agencies to find out which is the most critical work to be performed, and we address those in the balance months. So we have 4 positions in the collections budget. 3 of them take care of all the line flushing, cleaning, and 1 person is the mechanic who does all the maintenance of the lift stations and the other related equipments. Now, all applicable merit step increases are at 1 step. We've applied 3% CPI to all non-personal costs, and based on the earlier audited financials, which is 22-23, collections had a surplus of about 74,646. This was discussed with the member agency managers, and it was agreed upon that this amount will be used to reduce the collections budgeted expenses for all the member agencies. So just to give you a glance of what changes are there in the collections budget, there's been overall decrease of about 66,000. The payroll costs, headcount remains the same. There's no change in that. There's a slight increase in the retirement contribution, decrease in health benefits, increase in retiree benefits, increase in miscellaneous benefits. So the details of these are already in your packet and in the staff report. So the miscellaneous expenses increase is based on the actual expense expected. Utilities is also on the actual expense expected, because the way we do the budget is we've found out what are all the actual expenses for the month covering July 2023 to December 2023. And based on that, we estimate that a similar thing would be occurring in the following 6 months. And based on that, we do the budget. That's why we said expense expected. So results in a total overall decrease in collections budget by about 16%. So as indicated earlier, we have 3 in the collections maintenance workers. We have 1 in the maintenance mechanic. So we have a total authorized staff of 4. So this gives you an idea about the split up of the various scenarios. You have wages of 68%, 4% repairs and maintenance, insurance premium 4%. This is all indicated in your packet as well as in the staff reports. So this is the change wherein you have a decrease in wages and benefits of 10%, all other expenses decrease of 68%, and a total collections decrease of about 16%. Now the shares would be Half Moon Bay is about 34% of the entire collections budget. GCSD is 28%. MWSD is about 38%. And why is it more than 38% in MWSD? Because we service all of their lift stations. They have about 13 lift stations and a couple of grinder pump stations. Half Moon Bay has got 3 lift stations, and GCSD has got only 1 lift stations. So this is the agency fees, which is set forth today for adoption. Just to give you an idea about the details of collection services, what has occurred from July 2023 to April 2024. We've just compiled the monthly reports that we added in our board packet. So Half Moon Bay, we've completed about 81,000 linear feet. GCSD, we've completed about 99,000. Montera, we've completed 69,000. Hotspot cleaning, 34,000 in Half Moon Bay, 10,500 in Granada, and Montera is about 12,000. Manhole inspections we've completed 490 in Half Moon Bay, 539 in GCSD, and Montera is 357. Call-outs, these are call-outs which we get during regular hours, overtime hours, on weekends, everything. We've got about 34 call-outs for the past so many months, July to April. GCSD is 12 and Montera is 98. And to get to know more details, you can always go to the manager's report in every month. So we give you the percentage, how much we have achieved every month. That's it. So forum is open for questions and discussions. I also have my finance team consisting of George Evans, Callie, and our financial consultant, Peter Medina, all of them who helped us put together the budget. I really thank all of them, including the finance committee who gave in a lot of ideas and thoughts to put together this budget. Any questions, any discussions?
Anybody have a comment? I have a question and a comment. Why did the personnel costs go down? Did a more expensive worker get replaced by a more junior worker?
No, not really. We did not make any changes in that. It's just that we estimated a little too high in the previous budget,
okay.
so it's come down. Otherwise, we have not changed any staff. It's the same staff who were also on the payroll in the last budget.
Okay, thank you. And then my comment is that I think the collections team does a great job, and we're very lucky to have people who live here and are available on very short notice, all times of the weekends and whenever needed to come and take care of any problems that come up. So we appreciate the work that the collections people do very much, and happy to support this budget.
Just want to add
Anyone else?
another comment, and that is, this is the team that keeps our streets clean, our beaches clean, our gutters clean. They protect us from these nasty spills, and when you see them with the SAM truck working, just say hi.
They're very friendly.
They're actually
It's a good crew.
really cool guys, and I think it's nice to recognize how important they are to the environment here.
I would agree.
I make the motion that we adopt the collection budget for 24-25.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion on the motion? All right, could we have a roll call, please?
Director Clark,
Aye.
Director Penrose,
Aye.
Director Slater-Carter,
Yes.
Director Radek,
Yes.
Director Decker,
Yes.
Chair Dye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Moving on. Adopt Resolution 04-2024, adopting the Sewer Authority Midcoastside General Budget for fiscal year 24-25, and adopting the position control list. Can you give us a staff report?
Yes. Thank you. So this is the general budget. We go through the same process again. Like I've told earlier, for the collections budget, we have a preliminary budget. We discuss it with the member agency managers, review it, and then take it to the finance committee. And once it's okay by the finance committee, we bring it to the SAM board to authorize the general manager to send it to the member agency managers, and the respective board, the respective member agencies have discussed it in their board or council meetings, and once it gets approved, it's brought back to the SAM for adoption. That's where we are today. We brought it today to SAM board for adopting it, and as of now, we've all the three member agencies have approved the general budget which we sent out. Although Half Moon Bay has approved it under protest for the infrastructure part of it, but in practice it is actually approved. They've adopted a resolution. Half Moon Bay has adopted a resolution. MWSC has adopted a resolution. And GCSD has already indicated that they've approved it, but they'll have a resolution later. So if I can share my screen and go over a quick PowerPoint, please.
Sure.
You guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So let's get on to the operating budget. All authorized positions are included in the budget. We have not added any new position. We are not requesting for any extra staff. It's the same positions which were in the budget earlier. All applicable merit step increases at 1 step. We have 3% CPI. We've also included a buffer for anticipated increase in labor costs because labor negotiations with Local 39 are already started with the approval beginning January 31st, 2025, because the current memorandum of understanding with Local 39 expires in January of next year, 2025. And therefore, we anticipated an increase in labor costs, and that has been added as a buffer. Infrastructure budget has been reduced from the last year's budget amount because the focus is more on the sewer force main in Montara, as you see in the packet that we provided to you. So the wages and benefits have gone up by about 10%, as indicated earlier for the memorandum of understanding with the labor negotiations with Local 39. Legal engineering professional services gone up by 17%. All other expenses gone up by 14%, and the total operating budget has gone up less infrastructure by 13%, with the infrastructure decreased by 7%. So this is a split up of the budgets, which is a total of $9.4 million. Operating expenses without the infrastructure. This is the expenses which is already in the packet. I don't want to go through it in detail. Staffing information, we've got 13 employees in the general budget, and we have one general manager who is on contract. So we have 14, total of 14 staff here in the general budget, and this is the split up. We've got administrative services. We have 4. Operations and maintenance, we have 8.75 because the plant superintendent, we have 0.75 of his time on operations and maintenance and 0.25 of his time for environmental compliance. So the key changes in the operating budget, we have the personnel costs increase of about $287,000. Engineering services based on year-to-date actuals slightly increased. Professional services based on anticipated needs increase. Then we have the insurance premium based on year-to-date actuals because the increase is due to the prior year's claims and new flood policy. In the last budget, we did not have the flood policy, therefore the premium was less. The flood policy has been included, plus we've had a lot of events which happened during the storm event of January 2023. So our premium has gone slightly up, and therefore we have budgeted for an increase there. Utilities based on increased PG&E is about 67,000. Equipment rental, generators as well as tanks. We normally have these tanks, which are blue tanks, if you guys have noticed it during these monsoon periods. Have it as a standby, which we have it generally at Portola Pump Station and at Montera Pump Station. If you have to use it, then it will be available. So that is the key changes. The major vendors in the legal and professional services is Calcon, who does the equipment maintenance for us, basically our electrical contractor who takes care of all our electrical requirements in the plant and at the lift stations. Then we have General Counsel, we have Rutten and Tucker. Then we have Employment Counsel from Boucher, who takes care of not only the employment related stuff, they also take care of all our HR stuff and also involved in the labor negotiations very actively. RV Accounting and Advisory, who is our accounting services. Basically, it's a finance consultant who helps us with all our monthly as well as budget and audit requirements. So we have Precision IT Consulting, who's our IT provider for the firm and who are available 24/7, literally, if we have any issues with our computers, with our servers, or any such things. Koffler Electrical, who does our equipment maintenance for us. We've used them for winding the electrical motors, because when a motor breaks down, getting an electrical motor takes quite some time. So instead, we've seen that normally we have these problems of motor winding needs to be redone. So we send it to Koffler and we typically get it in a week or 2 weeks' time, who is available in the Bay Area. Then we have Peninsula Pump and Equipment, also who takes care of our pump maintenance. We're available always on call and they take care of it. CalPERS rates, we have Classic and we have Petra members. We have two types of members. Classic members are for those who joined before, I believe, 2013, if I'm right, and Petra is for people who have joined after. So the rates have gone up. We have absolutely no control on it, as you're aware. CalPERS dictates those rates, and these are the rate changes which have happened over the last year. So the assessment for each agency is based on the flow, which has occurred during the calendar year 2023. This was brought to the board in February of 2024 and was approved. So we have Half Moon Bay as 60.82%. GCSD is 22% and MWSD is 22%. So the budget is split up based on the flow. So this is the assessment. We have Half Moon Bay is about 5.6, GCSD is about 1.76, and Montera is about 1.868. And the way it works is the assessment is divided by 12 for each member agency, and each member agency pays divide by 12 amount every month to us when we send out the invoices to them. Besides this, we also have whatever pass-through invoices. If any extras are done for their pump station, for their lift stations or anything else, then we have pass-through invoices also, which the member agencies pay SAM promptly. So these are the historical flow allocations, just to get you an idea. Last year, 2022, it's already shown there. We have 61.5 jumping to 60.82 for Half Moon Bay. And then you have GCSD practically remains the same, while for Montera it's slightly gone up. So this is the division budgets by fiscal year. The details of that is already available in your packet. I don't want to go through it in detail again.
22.
That's it. And so again, this budget was put together, all thanks to our finance team consisting of George Evans, Callie, and our finance consultant, Peter Medina, and of course our finance committee. And not forgetting the member agency managers who gave us feedback, and we made minor changes in the budget. So staff is here for any questions and any discussions.
Anyone have questions? I have a question, Matthew.
I do. Under infrastructure on page 69, it shows infrastructure projects from the previous, well, including the one we're still in, fiscal years, and there are quite a few items that are unfinished, like awaiting install, awaiting shipment, awaiting equipment, etc. Are those already funded? Is there money set aside from those previous fiscal years to cover the finishing of these items, or is there a buffer built into this new budget for this?
There is no buffer built into this, but those projects have already been funded. And typically we bring it back to the board when we present the quarterly budget. So in our Q3 financials, which we presented, we gave a status of the CIP projects as to where they are and how much money is left. I don't have the details right now, but Q3 is when we presented, and we'll be presenting it again in our Q4. But as of now, we have not built in any buffer in this general budget for any of these projects which were approved earlier. Did that answer your question?
That's good that there's money from the previous fiscal years that is available. Of course, it's hard to predict how much any of these are going to cost because of the rapid inflation we're suffering from.
Right.
But I am glad to hear that the previously allocated money is there.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? Catherine?
Keishan, in the past, due to various issues, the costs on these construction projects has gone up significantly over the course of, since approval or conception to actually building them. Are you expecting that kind of problem in the near future for some of these other major projects like the Montera force main and not the Montera, the SAM force main in Montera, to be precise. And are we going to be doing mid-year budget adjustments and considerations?
It would probably, it's a little too early to talk about media budget adjustment right now, but considering the sewer force main in Montera, that is the only infrastructure budget which is included in this general budget. We've got $3 million there, and that is sufficient for the timeline that we've got for completion of the design of the Montera force main during this fiscal year. So I think that should be sufficient. And as far as the other projects are concerned, I don't foresee any drastic fund requirement. We would try to manage with the funding that we've got. But like I said, it's a little too early for me to predict whether there'll be a mid-year budget adjustment or not, but hopefully not.
Thank you.
I got a question and a comment. Again, the last 2 years it showed GCSD at 19% on your graph that you just showed, and yet it says that our share of the budget is 22%.
Okay.
I thought we'd been at 19% for quite a while, for a couple years. I don't need an answer right now. I'm just a little puzzled by that. I mean,
sorry.
Peter.
Sorry. No, I saw it too on the slide, and it is 19%. No, that slide is incorrect. That's on me. I missed it. Sorry. We were updating today, and that's wrong.
Oh, okay.
So it
It's
should
19.
be,
Yes. The
And
graph. The graph that you see 2 pages down, the one that shows the historical, those are all accurate. So the slide that said 22 and 22%, that is not accurate.
And I think I saw a previous budget version that had it correct, so that's good, thank you. And I just want to actually, my compliments. I think this is a budget that makes a lot of sense to me, and I think other years there's been more sort of questions and unknowns, and it's come to us with an opportunity to really take a look at it and review it, and I'm pleased to see us moving forward with a budget for the year ahead.
So I'd like to just say that I think there's still an issue with infrastructure, and there's only one project, in our CIP that's included in this budget, and we have a lot of needs, and we have to look out farther than 1 year. We have to look out probably 10 years in terms of infrastructure planning. So, I think there's an issue here with just having one item, one infrastructure item in our budget.
That's true.
We had talked before, I had raised the issue about meeting this year and doing some infrastructure planning and building up our CIP. So that we
It's
can
on the
look
calendar.
ahead.
Well,
The
there's a
infrastructure is
5-year
on the calendar for August.
Yes, there's a 5-year CIP in process somewhere, right, Kishan?
Correct. There's a 5-year CIP progress, and we've also informed the member agencies during our discussion a couple of weeks back that the CIP discussion with them will be in July. The 5-year CIP will be in discussion will be with the member agency engineers and managers in July, first week of July probably, and we intend bringing it to the board in the second meeting in July or first meeting in August, depending on what changes the engineers and managers suggest. But it is in progress, a 5-year CIP.
I think it's also valuable to note how many projects have been done in the last 3 or 4 years. We had a consultant a number of years ago who did sort of a wish list of projects. And if you go back and look at that list, a significant number of them have been accomplished.
Yes.
So I think that is something to feel good about as well. So, anyone else have comments? Sorry.
So therefore, I move that we accept the general budget for 24-25.
We have a second.
Second.
Oh, you can have it.
Any further discussion? Can we have a roll call, please?
Director Clark,
Aye.
Director Penrose,
Yeah, first I'd like to thank the finance staff for the hard work that they've done and the finance committee for their excellent review. I'm voting in support of staff's recommendation to approve this item. The resolution adopts the essential budget for fiscal year 2024-25. However, please have the minutes reflect that Half Moon Bay's vote is under protest, consistent with the May 21, 2024 resolution by which the City Council approved SAM's budget, and that any Half Moon Bay funding of this or other IPS-related projects is made under protest, and with the understanding that costs spent by the city will be refunded to the city should it prevail in its suit.
Can you provide that language for the minutes?
Just send them a
It's right here. Where do you want
I
to?
know, who's taking minutes?
It's
being
in the
recorded,
resolution.
so the meetings are recorded, so it'll be there.
All right. Okay, great. All right, any further discussion on the motion? Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
We were in the roll call.
We were in the roll call.
in the roll call, so I've already got
Sorry.
Director Clark and Director Penrose. Now it's Director Slater Carter,
Yes.
Director Radek,
Yes, I'm voting consistent with Director Penrose's remarks.
okay. Director Decker,
Yes.
Chair Dye.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to general manager's report.
Yep, the entire packet is there. If you have any questions, staff is here to answer.
Could you give us a verbal update on the Princeton Pump Station project?
Oh, yeah. Princeton Pump Stations is progressing very well. You guys have seen, we are hopeful of completing the project by end August. So the contractor is scheduled to do the coating of the manholes and all that probably by mid-June. And then we will fire it up and get started sometime in July, August, I would say. Otherwise, weekly reports are available, which is being sent to the board, but seeing is believing. You people can go over to the public, and the board can go over to the Princeton Pump Station and see how fast it has progressed, and so far, so good. Touch wood, we haven't had any major hurdles at all. Progressing very well.
Great. Another project that's.
I did go over there Friday, and it really looks like it's getting close
This is,
and already functioning.
this is so exciting. This is
Yeah.
needed doing for what, 45 years? I'm making the number up.
36 that I'm aware of.
36, so.
Yep.
Well, we're glad that safety issues are been taken care of. All right, anything further? Moving on to attorney's report.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Just briefly, I've talked about PFAS a lot in the past. I know it's not quite something that Sam has had to deal with too much yet, but you will. It's affecting everybody. It's kind of a all-encompassing issue because it affects operations, affects drinking water, affects wastewater. EPA, I think I told the board last time we had a full regular meeting about the EPA had listed 2 perfluorinated substances, the most common ones, PFOA and PFOS, as hazardous substances under CERCLA, which is also known as Superfund, which means that you can potentially, just like other kinds of toxic chemicals, agencies such as SAM and other parties that are involved with the use or that have in their products PFAS could potentially be brought into litigation. And that's a big concern, both for water and wastewater agencies. And so I just wanted to let you know there has been some progress, and I don't know if it's going to pass or not, but efforts to provide an exclusion for water and wastewater agencies that had nothing to do with PFAS being in the wastewater. It's unfortunately it's pretty widespread throughout the environment because it was used in so many products for so long, and it bioaccumulates, so it winds up in our bloodstream. But anyway, so there has been progress made with Congress on that on a bipartisan basis. Again, I'm not sure it'll pass, but there's been some progress. And also, we learned today that AWWA, which is the American Water Works Association, one of the big trade industries for water agencies, filed a lawsuit against EPA challenging the drinking water standards for PFAS that have been promulgated. And we'll see. It's one of the more interesting administrative challenges I've seen. I think it could succeed because the standards for drinking water are so low, and the way that the rule was promulgated was quite different than ordinary. So we'll see. Both are significant events, and I'll keep the board posted.
Thank you very much. Questions? All right, director's reports.
Can't think of anything.
Yeah. Moving on to topics for future board consideration. Anything?
I'd like to stay updated on this PFAS because it's such a ubiquitous product. It's found in mascara and lipstick and carpets and fire foam and all kinds of things. And
It's hard to see how they can hold the wastewater agencies responsible when they have nothing to do with putting them into the system to begin.
my guess is that, and I haven't talked to anyone about this, but they figure everybody pays for sewer, so this way everybody can pay for the cleanup. But frankly, it's faulty product testing to begin with and product acceptance by the powers that be, but they're not going to pay for it, so the little guy gets stuck with it. And I was reading that there's some new technology coming out. It's going to come out probably very quickly to help remove this. But in the meantime, we're all stuck paying for it and living with it. In between the PFAS, the microplastics, and all this other stuff that's in your bloodstream, we could all each be a hologram when we die rather than just disappearing.
We need producer responsibility
Yes.
Yeah, it's very clear
and
that,
source control.
that prevention would be much cheaper and healthier for everyone than trying an insanely expensive cure through sewer agencies?
Yeah.
Come on.
They're socializing all their costs on us.
Right, exactly.
All right, I think Well said. Topics for future board consideration. Anything? All right, I guess we will adjourn to a closed session.
Okay, we need a couple of minutes before PCT pulls out all the equipment and be organized with the owl. So maybe 5 to 10 minutes break, please.
So you want people to come back at 7:50? Is that what time or?
Yeah, they can remain, but we'll get started. It'll be still the same Zoom. So,
Okay.
Callie?